Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Get to Know Gives Back. I'm your host, Quinn Pettifer, Manager of Brand Initiatives with the Gazette. Really excited to be talking to Chelsea Herber today with ASAC. Chelsea and, of course, the whole crew of ASAC, they are part of our 2025 Gazette Gives Back program, which unites 31 nonprofits from throughout Eastern Iowa, the chance to get together, learn from one another, be part of these amazing podcasts and conversations, and of course, be able to receive free advertising so that they're able to let the world know about their mission and services and resources they provide to thousands throughout Eastern Iowa every single day. Chelsea Herber, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. And Chelsea, you are the Director of Fund Development for ASAC, correct?
I am.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. I know many people have heard the acronym. Thank you for spelling out the acronym. Always appreciate that in your title there. But for those that are not familiar with the work, why don't we start with the mission of Area Substance Abuse Council?
Absolutely. So yes, Area Substance Abuse Council, most of us know us as ASAC. And that's completely fine, obviously, too. Really, we're a substance use and problem gambling prevention, treatment, and recovery provider. So our mission really is to promote brain health and substance use recovery. And how do we do that? Again, with our prevention, treatment, and recovery services. So kind of our tagline is prevent, treat, recover. So prevention services is really being out in the community. The whole goal of prevention is to stop the usage of substances. So that's a huge overarching goal. And so we do that in many ways, providing education to youth, to families, to parents on really the struggles of utilizing substances. And with that, we can really identify a lot of things that lead into our treatment services. So our treatment services are, I would say, probably where the bulk of people kind of, when they hear the name ASAC, kind of know us as. So that is everything from outpatient services all the way into inpatient or residential services. So outpatient services is truly, you and I coming to see our counselor, our therapist on an outpatient basis, where we can really assess people and if they need a higher level of care. And so when we say that, we serve 7 counties. So Lynn, Benton, Jones, Jackson, Clinton, Dubuque, and Delaware. That's a mouthful, but we serve many counties.
Right? Yeah. If not the largest in Iowa.
Yeah, so I would say we're definitely a full comprehensive agency, which is not always the case when you come to substance use services. And so with our residential services, we are really, really blessed, I would say, here in Cedar Rapids area, that we have 2 residential settings here. And so residential is really high intensity treatment. It's someone that is just really struggling with their substance use, and we just want to help. So it's 50 hours of intense treatment a week. Wow. Someone is physically living with us. We're providing those counseling or those group-led sessions with individuals here on site. Again, providing all of their meals, a counselor on site, all of those really, really amazing comprehensive services. We have care navigators on site to really help people. Maybe someone comes to us that doesn't have identifying documents. So maybe they need help getting a birth certificate, a social security. Maybe they need help signing up for WIC or SNAP benefits or insurance in general. Like, our care navigators can really do this full, really great service. And so that's really all included along with peer recovery coaches in our residential setting. So again, high intensity, 50 hours of treatment a week. And again, we assess people, so we have the luxury of being able to provide all the services that someone really needs. And that really leads into our recovery services. So kind of just mentioned that a little bit, but peer recovery coaches, care navigators. So once someone is all set and ready to leave a treatment program and kind of go back home, or kind of whatever that looks like for them, we're going to assess that. We're going to make sure that they have the housing. We're going to make sure that they have, the stability of food, of clothing, all of those things, a job, all of those, again, necessities that someone needs to live a really safe, comfortable, life. And that's, again, kind of the luxury that we have to be able to provide really from start to end. And we can continue to follow someone as long as that kind of looks like for people. And I think we really pride ourselves that, again, we're this whole person comprehensive provider, but that there's no set date that we're just like, okay, no longer have services. We're going to follow you as long as it looks like for each person. It's just individualized care for people. Again, that was a lot.
No,
We do a lot of different things. Yeah.
And it's not a one size fits all scenario for anybody, I imagine.
No.
I mean, everybody's got different situations at home, other situations that are kind of beyond the scope of maybe why they're initially coming to see you. But
exactly.
I guess you certainly are quick to learn, like, look, these are factors that you need to be thinking about to make sure you've got that long-term success. And it's so great that it's not a cookie cutter solution.
Right.
But I'm sure is very time intensive for you and the rest of the team to make sure you're providing everything that you can for clients, whether it's preventative or during treatment or recovery. So 50 hours, that's a pretty intense experience, but it's also a chance for everybody, for those people involved, to pause and really invest in themselves, which is hard. That's gotta, that's a big step for anybody. So that's fantastic and requires resources. So my next question, Chelsea, is just, how are things going as demand, I'm sure, does not stop. It does not. I'm sure, is going strong. So how are you doing with the increase in resource need or current resource need and the resources that you have available?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would love to just say that we serve over 3,300 unduplicated patients in our treatment and recovery services a year, and over 40,000 are prevention services.
Wow.
So our services are needed, right? I think I just like to say that our services are needed. We always, if I can be super honest, we always have wait lists going, and we try so hard, right, to get people into services as soon as possible, because we know that when individuals are coming to us, sometimes it's you have to be really quick, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe that is just them going on a whim saying that, I just really need help. I really need help. And if we don't catch them at that very right moment, then we might have missed them for quite some time.
You don't want to give them a reason to go back on that decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we try to just be sensitive to all of that. And again, the luxury of that, we have many properties and many different residential, halfway house, transitional housing. Those are all words that people may not all know what that means, but again, that we can get someone into services no matter what that looks like for them. And so, yes, absolutely, there's very much a demand. And I would say, COVID, right? And I think we're still definitely seeing things coming after COVID with co-occurring disorders, so mental health, substance use. And so I would definitely say that, in all of that, yes, ASAC services there's very much a demand for it, but there's very much a demand for a lot of other services in the community. And the work that we do, we absolutely cannot do without our community partners. Sometimes it's to the minute, to the hour that we are contacting Foundation 2 or Waypoint or, just all of these really great providers. And so I would definitely just say the need in general for individuals struggling with brain health and substance use is just, it's there.
Yeah, that's a great point of that core group, of service-based human social service entities here in town. It has to be a requirement for you to all stay in contact and communication with each other. And I know that's been an inconsistent road over the years, but it feels like now, I mean, there is a system at least to be able to know who to reach out to for certain scenarios and situations. Like you said, it's not a one size fits all solution that could require other organizations. So that's kudos to you and to all the teams that are able to collaborate for the betterment of the client. So Chelsea, what are some, if somebody is hoping to be able to support you, support ASAC, are there volunteer opportunities? Are there ways to support in other ways if somebody would like to support your mission?
Yeah. I would say, volunteers can be really hard for the confidentiality of our patients. And so we have to be pretty strategic when it comes to that. So we do a lot of volunteer work for like outside activities. We have a lot of properties, and so we always can use assistance when it starts to get nice, doing some different landscaping, washing windows, anything, those type of things to really make our campuses just beautiful for our patients. Our patients spend a lot of time here, and we want them to feel, we want them to be grateful for the facilities that we have and take pride in where they live. And we want to take pride in where we work too, right? So those are just always things I think that get forgotten. That we just go in our day-to-day in our craziness, of continuing to just go, and then we kind of forget about some of those type of things. So we always really push for volunteers, I would say, when it gets nicer out and those type of things. But really to support us, I would just say, we serve a really vulnerable population. And stigma, we wish it wasn't a thing still, but it is, right? And so I would just say being willing to talk about mental health and substance use, trying to break that stigma, right? And that, again, talking about these things, people don't talk about it. And that's where people really start to struggle. And so again, just being willing to just talk about it.
Absolutely.
I think is just huge when it comes to these services. But I would love to mention that we do have, in this spring, we have a luncheon.
Oh, nice.
It is in Dubuque. So in the fall, we had one here in Cedar Rapids down at Groundswell. And then, like I said, in April 17th, it's at Convivium in Dubuque. And what we really have loved about these two luncheons is it's serving a purpose for another nonprofit who helps the community and does really amazing for food insecurity for people. And so for us to be able to host our luncheon fundraiser there and to be able to give back to them and for individuals to be giving to us, it's just kind of it goes around in a circle. So it's really cool in that aspect. So we definitely have different events like that throughout the year and such. So that's always a good way to support us. Also, yeah.
Great. Well, lots of things to look forward to. And I know we really appreciate ASAC being a voice, to your point, making it okay to have the conversation.
Yeah.
We've worked with you as sources. We've worked with you in IO Ideas panel discussions. I know we've leaned to the ASAC crew many times to just open up that issue and that topic and help educate everybody that it's not one. And like you said, it's not a one size fits all. Everybody's situations are different. And we appreciate you being a leader in that voice. So, and I just want to make sure everybody, so whether you're in need of services, somebody that is in need of services, or you want to explore the ways to support, it's asac.us. Is that correct? So asac.us. Okay. Excellent. Well, Chelsea, thank you. Please send our thanks and appreciation to the entire crew. You do amazing work. Your work is never ending. And we just really appreciate and feel very privileged that you are here in Eastern Iowa, helping so many people.
Thank you. So appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thanks to our viewers for checking out another edition of Get to Know Gives Back. Got to give a shout out, of course, to our presenting sponsor, Collins Community Credit Union. They sponsor the Gazette Gives Back program, which unites all of our nonprofits throughout the year to be able to work together, connect, network, and of course, our nice presenting sponsor for our podcast series as well, which we love and appreciate. With that, I'm Quinn Pettifer, and we will see you next time.